Explosions at oil refineries, drone footage, black smoke rising over Russian infrastructure, headline flash, Ukraine hits Russian energy. Kremlin vows response, global markets on edge. In a dramatic escalation of its war strategy, Ukraine has launched a wave of drone strikes targeting key Russian oil refineries and fuel infrastructure, sending shockwaves through global energy markets and rising fears of further retaliation from Moscow. Satellite image of damaged facilities, Ukrainian drones in action, Russian emergency crews responding. Over the past several weeks, Ukrainian forces have intensified long-range drone operations deep into Russian territory, hitting at least a dozen oil processing sites, including major facilities in Krasnodar, Ryazan, and Kaluga. Some of these refineries account for over 10% of Russia's domestic fuel output. The goal: to cripple Russia's fuel supply chain both for its military and civilian economy while forcing Moscow to stress its already overburdened air defense system, showing the location of major strikes across western and southern Russia. Kyiv has not formally claimed responsibility for every attack, but Ukrainian officials have made no secret of their intent to strike critical energy infrastructure, arguing that it's a fair game in the full-scale war. Ukrainian military spokesperson press in the briefing. Spokesperson said that we will continue to bring the war back to Russia's doorstep. They cannot boom our cities and expect impunity at home. Russian fuel lines, gas stations with shortage, local news reports. The impact has been immediate. Russian domestic fuel prices have spiked in several regions. Some export routes, especially to Asia and the Balkans, have been temporarily suspended. Analysts warn that this could undermine Russia's wartime economy, already strained by Western accessories and sanctions. Kremlin officials and President Vladimir Putin as a security meeting. The Kremlin, meanwhile, has condemned the attacks as acts of terrorism and vowed a forceful response. Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered a missile and drone strikes across Ukraine, including fresh attacks on energy plants and port cities. Explosions in Odessa and Kharkiv, civilian shelters, air raid sirens. International reaction has been mixed. Western allies, while stopping short of endorsing the strikes, have defended Ukraine's right to self-defense, pointing to Russia's own record to targeting civilian infrastructure since the start of the war. NATO press briefing, footage of damaged Ukraine power grids. But some of energy experts warn that strikes could destabilize global oil markets. Russia remains a major oil supplier, especially to non-Western countries like China and India. If Ukrainian attacks continue or intensifying, markets may supply chain disruption and regional price spikes. Stock markets footage, oil price graphs, news across discussing energy futures. More campaign signals a strategic evolution in Ukrainian war tactics. After nearly 2.5 years of defense struggle, Kyiv is taking the fight into the heart of the Russian economic lifelines, betting that disruption at home will slow Russia's military engine. Drone assembly interviews with Ukrainian tech shoulders, night strikes. Experts say Ukraine's homegrown drone program has dramatically expanded, with cheap non-range aircraft capable of traveling hundreds of kilometers and evacuating sophisticated defense for Ukraine don't have become as a thematic equalizer. As the war grades on with no diplomatic solution in sight, one thing is clear. The battlefield is no longer limited to techniques in Donbass. It now includes refineries, supply chains, and economic nerve centers. Ukrainian drone offensives were reaches Russia's economic core. Subscribe for updates on the involving conflict, geopolitical impact, and frontline reporting.